Yo, dog, we heard you like revolutions. All right, fellas, gather around. Let's talk about a revolution with more guts than a butcher shop window. We're diving headfirst into the Hungarian Revolution of 1956. Picture this: Cold War tension thicker than your Uncle Sal's gravy, and the mighty Soviet Union calling the shots. But guess what? The Hungarians? They weren't having it. Think of it like this. You order a burger. You expect a burger, not some sad, soggy excuse for a sandwich. The Hungarians? They ordered freedom, and they weren't settling for anything less. This wasn't just some rowdy pub crawl gone wrong. This was a full-blown, knockdown, drag-out fight for liberty. And trust me, these Hungarians weren't messing around. So, what exactly went down in Hungary back in '56? In a nutshell, it was like this. Imagine a pressure cooker, right? You keep cranking up the heat, eventually, that thing's gonna blow. Hungary under Soviet rule? That was the pressure cooker. Decades of communist control, limited freedoms, and a government more interested in Moscow's orders than its people's needs? That was the heat. And boy, did it blow. The Hungarian people, fed up with being treated like mushrooms, kept in the dark, and fed manure, decided to take a stand. Students, workers, everyday folks, they all said, enough is enough. They took to the streets demanding change, demanding freedom, demanding a government that actually represented them. It was a beautiful, messy, chaotic explosion of people power. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. When did this all go down? October 1956. Where? Hungary, specifically Budapest, the capital city. Think of it as the Vegas of Eastern Europe, but with less neon and more tanks, for a little while anyway. Now, who were the major players? On one side, you had the Hungarian people, from students to factory workers, all united in their desire for a better life. On the other side, the Soviet Union and its Hungarian puppet government, determined to keep things under their iron-fisted control. Imagine a David versus Goliath showdown, but instead of a slingshot, David's got Molotov cocktails and a burning desire for freedom. Section 4. Why'd they revolt? Let's break it down. Now, why did the Hungarians risk it all? Well, imagine living under a regime that controlled everything. What you read, what you watched, even what you ate. Not exactly a recipe for happiness, right? The Hungarians wanted basic freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the freedom to choose their own darn government. They wanted a say in their own destiny, not just to be pawns in some larger geopolitical chess game. Think of it like this. You wouldn't let your neighbor tell you what kind of beer to drink, would you? The Hungarians felt the same way about their country. They were tired of being told what to do, how to think, and how to live. Section 5. The aftermath and why it still matters. Spoiler alert. The revolution didn't end well for the Hungarians. The Soviets, those party poopers, sent in the tanks, crushing the uprising and tightening their grip on Hungary. Thousands were killed, wounded, or imprisoned, and over 200,000 fled the country. It was a brutal end to a hopeful revolution. But here's the thing about revolutions. Even if they don't succeed right away, they plant seeds. The Hungarian Revolution showed the world that the desire for freedom can't be crushed, even by brute force. It reminded everyone, especially those living under Soviet rule, that things could be different, that they didn't have to accept tyranny as the status quo. So, the next time you hear about a revolution, remember the Hungarians of 1956. They fought bravely for their freedom, and their story, like all good stories, deserves to be told.